Test one, test two.
See, I see. Okay. There I am. I would back out a little bit because I'm not on camera anymore. There it is.
ask for the family to come and be seated, please. We'll ask everyone to gather behind the family, please. Folks, you can come this way too, please, just behind the family. That's good. If I may have your attention, we're about to begin our service. Conducting our service is Rabbi David Eber. We will also ask that everyone please take a moment to turn your cell phones to their silent mode before we begin.
The Psalms teach us that God is with those who is brokenhearted and in despair. And I'm sure many of you are feeling that way today as we come together. No one wishes to come to a funeral, and yet it is important that each one of you has come today. And I know it means a lot to the family. And Zikrona Livracha, may Pam's memory be a blessing. As Bill mentioned, my name is Rabbi David Eber. It's my honor to get to officiate today. And Adonai Natan ve'Adonai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mivorach. Adonai has taken, and Adonai has given, and Adonai has taken. But praised be the name of Adonai. The book of Ecclesiastes teaches us that there is a season for everything, a time and experience under heaven for dancing and for weeping, for birthing and for dying, for speaking and a time for silence, a time for seeking and a time for losing. A time of mourning is a complicated time filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet. And today we are, of course, remembering Pamela Lawrence. May her memory be a blessing. And we're sending our, as I mentioned, the funeral is called a levaya. So part of which means accompanying, and part of what we're doing is accompanying the family, to Scott and to Matthew, her sons, and to Samantha and Joshua and Rebecca as well. And to her grandchildren, Sarah and Jordan and Jolene and Camden and David and Jack, and all of her cousins and nieces and nephews and all of her friends. Thank you for being here. We're going to begin with the recitation of Psalms, which will thus link Pam's life with the traditions of our people. I will chant the 23rd Psalm. I'll let this airplane pass us by here. I'll chant the 23rd Psalm in Hebrew, and then in your packet, we'll have a chance to read the English together. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai roi lo exar, binot deshe, yar bitzeni, על מי מנוחות ינחלני, נפשי ישובב, נפשי ישובב, ינחני, ינחני במגלי צדק, ינחני במגלי צדק, למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צר מוות, לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך, המה, המה, המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צורריי. Dishanta bashemen roshi, kosi, kosi, kosi revaya, ach tov v'chesed, yirdifuni, kol yemei chayai, ושבתי בבית אדוני, לאורך ימים. Let's read together the English on the first inside page of the packet. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You make me lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restore my soul. You guide me in straight paths for your name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies, and you have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. These words often feel strange to say at a funeral, but when you're walking through this hard time, the point is to understand that there is comfort here with you, that you are not alone in this moment. Each of you who is mourning, with your community, with the source of life, and many of the blessings that we continue to receive. Matthew, who did you say wrote our poem today? So I have a poem that I want to read, but it was not written by me. It was written by Sarah, one of Pam's granddaughters. Is Sarah here? Yeah. Thank you. And why I wanted to read it beyond you reading it, or beyond you writing it, of course, is in this out. Though we're going through a hard time, part of what we remember is all of the memories and all of the things that she left and taught and passed from generation to generation. So it says, you taught me to love the theater. Lights on a dazzling stage twinkled in your eyes as every dramatic swell meant a squeeze of your hand. You taught me to love my childhood, cartoons dancing to long-loved classics as we laughed and sang along. You taught me to love the world, with magnetized memories stuck to metal and stories for every question I asked. You taught me creativity, stitching love into fabric, woven with priceless pieces of your heart and soul. You taught me sincerity, the careful thought behind gifts and conversation, with effort made to understand. You taught me simple happinesses, fragrant blossoms, fresh bagels, and cheesy eggs, nights over shared puzzles and crosswords. All of these lessons are carried in the file frame of my being. I don't know how to step forward without more to come, but thanks to you, I never stop learning. Amen. Excuse me. I wasn't blessed to know Pam, and in a brief conversation that I had with Matthew and with Scott, one thing that stuck out to me from our conversation was, Scott, you said that she was emotive. She was, maybe you said emotional, but you didn't mean it in a emotional way, but that she led with her heart. And um, in that poem, we really get a sense of her open heartedness, of her love for family, her love for sharing her passions with those that she cared about, and her children and her friends. We'll have a chance now to chant the El Malay Rachamim, which is the next prayer in our packet. I'll chant it in Hebrew, and then we'll each have a chance to read it together in the English. El Malay Rachamim Shochein Bamromim Hametzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina B'malot Kedoshim Utehorim Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim Et Nishmat Pamela Lawrence Shechalcha Leolama Began Eden Tehe Menuchata Ana Baal Harachamim Hastireha Beseter Kanafecha Leolamim Utzrur Bitzrur Chachayim Et Nishmata Adonai Hunachalata Vetanuach Beshalom Al Mishkava Venomar Amen. Let's read together the English. Compassionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Pamela Lawrence, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Let's actually hold on for one moment. Sorry, I know that's a change. Thank you. We have three folks who wanted to share memories and words today of Pam's life. First, I'd like to call up her cousin Marty.
I found my Mickey Mouse tie this morning en route to getting dressed. How appropriate I wear it today to honor Pam and Zach, who were huge enthusiasts of Mickey and Disney. A long ago memory of Pam how's Okay. A long ago memory of Pam was that of being the queen of Jewish Standard Time. So much so that for holiday gatherings, Pam was assigned to bring a dessert, not an appetizer. However, eventually her timing did improve to make it in time for chopped liver. Turkey was one of the main dishes served at our holidays. Tam was a huge, big turkey leg fan. She could clean a bone better than an archaeologist. Neighborhood dogs wanted to bury it. My daughter Rachel texted me over the weekend. She wrote, I remember Passover and Hanukkah at her house. I peeled hard-boiled eggs in the kitchen and was forced to read the 4 questions because I was the youngest. As many of us know, Pam made the best potato pancakes, from peeling to chopping to frying in a greased skillet. It was quite a production. By itself, the pancakes could be a meal. An intimate touch of Pam's was stenciling Sam and Rachel's names and many of her gifts to them. Pam was a kind, thoughtful, and generous human, a loving mother, a loyal companion, a caring relative. She leaves us all with many memories. Rest in peace, cousin.
Thank you, Marty. Next, we have also Pam's cousin Barry and Marty's sister, I believe. Yes.
How do I say goodbye to my Pammy? Where do I begin? Pammy was just not my cousin. She was an amazing, selfless friend who became the sister I treasured throughout life's journey. We shared good times along with bad, but we were always there for each other from childhood to being seniors. My memories of Pammy began at childhood dinners at my grandparents' house, having so much fun just being together, laughing and sharing secrets, and imagining crazy adventures we could take together. Our cousin's love was so strong, and we wanted to be as close as we could because Pammy grew up in the city far from me in the suburbs. One time, we even planned to run away together so we could be together more. Too many obstacles to carry out our outlandish plan. We never did run away. When I was 10 and Pammy was 14, we were both in North Miami Beach. Pammy picked me up via bus to go back to her dad's place to be together with her and Merle. We were so excited to see each other, we got off the bus way too early. We had to walk 5 miles in the unbearable heat in Florida, but just being together was worth everything. That was my Pammy, completely oblivious that we got off the bus way too soon. After Pammy's Sweet 16, we didn't get to see each other much with our schedules so busy. We cherished holidays together as we grew older with different interests, being I was 4 years younger. I was so happy for Pammy at her beautiful wedding to Jason, and then so excited when she had her sons, Scott and Matt, who became the best part of her life, along with her greatest joy of being a grandma. Pammy's favorite holiday was Hanukkah and delicious potato pancakes and incredible gifts. I was so honored to be Pammy's maid of honor when she got married for the second time to Zach. She had a new family, which made her happy, and I was thrilled for her. I remember Pammy loved Mickey Mouse and even had a Mickey Mouse watch. We were always there for each other in good times and bad. When we lost Merle and our mothers, we remained the strong, loving cousins I will never forget. I will always remember Pammy giving a loving, remarkable toast when I married Barry. That was my Pammy. Moving along Pammy's life journey, we try to meet once a month for lunch, weather permitting. Our favorite place to meet was Old Orchard at the Bagel when it was still open. Being loving cousins, we were just excited to see each other and enjoy wonderful conversation, along with Pammy's favorites of mushroom barley soup and stuffed cabbage or chopped liver. She never forgot to bring deli home for Zach. My favorite girl cousin, loyal friend, and sister who I have loved my whole life. I will cherish the time I had with her and so many memories forever. Goodbye, my Pammy.
Thank you, Barry. Next, we have her son, Matthew, who also wants to share some words with us. Matthew.
As all of you know, I might not have been the easiest child growing up, but when I was but she was always by my side. No matter if I was right or wrong, she would always find a way to make it right. She told me the story about her getting called into my kindergarten class because I was not coloring the banana yellow and the grass green. She told the teacher, what harm does it have, and pretty much go jump in a lake. As I reached my 20s, we got a lot closer. I remember telling my mother on Yom Kippur that I was joining the army. She was scared for me, but also really proud of me. When I married Mindy, she was so happy she was going to get grandchildren. When Mindy got pregnant, we could not agree on a name. We were down to 2 or 3, so I called my mother and said to her to get her opinion. I told her the first name, and she was like, okay. Then I said, Camden. She replied, who would name their kid Camden? I hung up the phone and said, Camden it is. She came to California when Camden was born. She babysat for him as he grew up and would buy him pretty much anything she could afford to buy him that he wanted. I blame her for his expensive taste. When he got the job at the tollway, he needed a place to stay. Grandma was more than happy to let him stay at her house. The two of them went to plays together at various places, as well as had bagels on Sunday. She was so proud of her grandchildren, but Camden and her had a special bond. Mom told me she had never been to the signature room over the years, so for her 70th birthday, I drove in from Tennessee, got to her house around 9 o'clock, told her to be ready at 3:30. We had reservations at the signature room. Then I left to go to work and came back around 3. She was already ready to go, surprisingly. This was the first time I remember her not being late. So we left at 3:30 and headed to the city. She had such a great time. I remember the view was clear. She and I sat there and just took it all in and enjoyed a nice birthday dinner. Mom loved Neil Diamond, and Hello Again was her favorite song. So here are some of the lyrics from Hello Again. I think about you every night when I am here alone and you're there at home. Hello. Maybe it's been crazy and maybe I'm to blame, but I put my heart above my head. We've been through it all, and you love me just the same. When you're not there, I just need to hear hello.
So thank you, Matthew, and thank you, Barry and Marty, for sharing so beautifully with us memories that you shared with us and all those that are in your hearts. Be a blessing, as we say. And there's a teaching from what's known as the wisdom of Bin Sira, one of our ancient texts, that says It's good to cry for the dead, that we should not hide our grief or restrain our mourning, but remember that continuing sorrow can be a worse fate than that initial suffering. And so, when our loved ones are at rest, let their memory be a source of peace and be consoled when their soul departs. Al Mikoma Tavo Bashalom. May her soul go back to rest in peace. The good things in life last for a short time, but a good reputation endures forever. In a moment, once Pam has been laid to rest, we'll have a chance for everyone present who wishes to participate in the ritual of shoveling earth. Lest you think this is a sign of disrespect, of sort of flinging dirt upon someone, it's quite the opposite. It is, in our tradition, known as a chesed shel emet, which means a kindness of ultimate truth, because something that can never be repaid. And so those who wish to participate will be able to come up on both sides. There's also, similarly to how we walked up to the grave, but we didn't march right up, we paused 7 times. We know that this is a mitzvah, an obligation that we must fulfill, but we are not in a rush. We're not hurrying to do so. So while we also shovel this earth, the tradition is to do it in a somewhat strange manner. Some people use the back of the to push the dirt, or shovel with their other hand and do 3 shovels, and also not to hand the shovel to the next person. So once you've done your shovelfuls, you can either set it down or stick it in the pile, and the next person can come up and take it. The reason for that is each one of us who chooses to do this, chesed shel emet, is making that choice, but it is also okay if it's easier for you to stay back. So in just a moment, we'll begin. Ose shalom bimromav, uase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat, shelomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat, shelomecha. Spread over shelter of your peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. We're grateful for the workers for their care. I'll explain another tradition while they're getting set. We also have some earth that comes from this particular earth comes from the Mount of Olives, which is in Jerusalem. And the reason for this is an ancient tradition that we believe in the world to come, in a time where hopefully there is peace for all of us on earth, that all of our souls will be reunited in Zion. And so we place this there for the hope that someday we will all have the chance to reunite again. So folks who wish to come up now and participate in the shoveling, there's two sides, so we can have two lines, and then family should go first if they want to. Otherwise, then guests can go.
Shiva will take place at the Lawrence residence at 7913 Everglade Avenue in Woodridge. They will receive calls of condolence today upon return from the cemetery until 8 p.m. this evening. We're going to ask everyone else who has participated to please gather around the family for our closing prayer. After our last prayer, we're going to ask that everyone please form two lines, an aisleway, so that the family can pass through and hear the traditional words of comfort.
Vayashav ha'afar al haaretz keshahaya v'haruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May Pam's soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal. Send comfort, Adonai, to those who mourn, and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. And let us say, Amen. We'll conclude our service with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, which are on the back of our sheet. And then folks are welcome. Then we'll make our two lines lining up here. And I suppose if there was anyone who wanted to stay and do more shoveling, you can. Though please know that the Ner Tamid folks will make sure that the grave is completely covered. But I wouldn't. Some people have a tradition of wanting to shovel more, and we wouldn't want to stop someone from doing that if that was your custom. For those who wish to say the Mourner's Kaddish, we are on our sheet. Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirute v'amlich malchute. B'chaychon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv vimru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who makes harmony above make peace for us, for all of Israel and all who dwell on earth. And we say Amen. And Zikrona Livracha, may her memory be a blessing, and Hamakom Yenachem, may you be comforted. Thank you everyone again for coming out today.